Hey guys, let's get right into it. So Elizabeth and Andre are off to Moldova to have the Moldovan wedding ceremony for Andre's family. While they're flying there, I guess Andre overpacked, and like when he loaded his luggage was like 5 pounds over what the airline required. Like if you go over 50, like every airline, some do 60, but if you go over 50 for this airline, they charge you extra. The extra was $200. I was like, what the hell airline are they flying? Spirit? TLC, you got them on a Spirit flight? Because this did not make any sense. I have never flown any airline and put my luggage up and it was a little bit over. I have paid for my luggage if it's been over, especially if I'm traveling like out of the country, you know what I mean? So I didn't mind that, you know what I mean? Or if I'm traveling back to the States, okay, the luggage is over. It is what it is. I'll pay, but I ain't never paid no $200. They were definitely flying Spirit. Spirit charges for everything. TLC, you putting your season cast members on Spirit? Oh, Elizabeth and Andre, do you have representation? You need to ask for better flight accommodations in your new contract because baby, Spirit, oh, not in my big age. So as soon as Elizabeth and Andre get to Moldova, Elizabeth is hit with all of these traditions and things that, you know, she has to do so that the wedding can proceed. The first thing is she has, or Andre's really good friend, or was it his brother? I didn't catch who this couple was, but this dude or whoever, Andre asked him to be the godfather. I was like, the godfather over the baby? Did you talk to your wife? No, it's a Moldovan tradition for you to have a godfather over the wedding. So wait, and if anybody is watching me from Moldova, let us just know, is the godfather like what best man is in American Christian weddings? Is that like the same thing? Is, you know, godfather and best man the same thing? Because the way he was describing the godfather position, I'm like, this guy is either the best man or the wedding planner or both. Like, what is it? Who can break that down for me? Let me know in the comment section below, because I was just like, he got a lot of responsibilities for a stranger to Elizabeth. Like, this dude is a stranger and he is now her wedding planner and, you know, her husband's best man. Like, what? There's a lot going on with this position. And Elizabeth is just sitting there like, oh, okay, godfather over my wedding. Sure. Can I have some more cheese? Just, you know, dumb as a box of rocks. Dumb as a box of rocks. Girl, what? You don't have a voice? And then she finds out that she has to get baptized. Baptized in Andre's religion in order to marry him at this Moldovan ceremony. You just found that out at the dinner. And again, she's telling us in the confessional, like Elizabeth tells us everything in the confessional. She never says it or does it in the scene. And I'm like, girl, at some point, you're going to have to stop talking to us and talk to your man. Like, why are you saying all this? I was like, oh my goodness, I have to get baptized. Andre, say that to him. Say that to his mama. You're just sitting there while things are being translated. And when you get the understanding of what is being said, you're just like, oh, okay. No, you better flip a table. You better break a wine glass. You better throw some cheese. I would have been like, oh, this ain't happening. I'm Baptist. You married me Baptist. You got me pregnant Baptist. Now all of a sudden I got to be Moldovan Christianity. What is his religion? I don't even think I got an understanding of what his religion is, but I'm just like, that's a lot to throw on somebody, especially if you're religious. But you know what? I don't get that Elizabeth is religious. I get that she's probably, you know, Southern. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of people in the South who are Christian, but not like religious. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Christianity, especially if you live around the Bible Belt, I think that Christianity is just a part of the culture. You know what I mean? But I don't think that a lot of people adhere to those beliefs so strictly. I could be wrong. I'm from the South. I'm a Northerner. But from what I get from Elizabeth, I just don't think that. Same thing with Andre. I don't think that they're both like religious people. So maybe that's why she acted that way. But for me, that is really huge to let me know days before our wedding ceremony that I have to be baptized in your religion. Like, I would not have just sat there at that table and nodded my head. I would have been like, what? Baptized by who? What religion? When? Can I talk to somebody? Wait a minute. Let me spend some time with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because I don't know if this is something that I want to do. And this is just a performative ceremony anyway. I already got the ring and the baby and the dude. I don't have to do this. Like, I would have said something. Would I have been that rude? It depends on how fine and wealthy my man is. Andre do got a wide back. Would I have been as quiet if I had a man with a wide back who was 6'5"? Okay, you know what, Elizabeth? I'm starting to understand you just a bit. Just a bit. But you should have said something, sis. Paul and Karine. So our girl Karine has finally made it to the United States by way of Paul. Poor thing. But you know what? She's here. She's here, and we are going to support her and help her get away from this man. So anyway, they have finally made it to the United States, and Paul is starting to act like Karine is entitled or expecting more. And I honestly disagree, because the way Paul talked about America to Karine, I would have expected, so much more from the US of A if I was Karine. The way he would speak to her about certain things and all of these luxuries that he has in the West and how he could provide a better life for her in the West. So when she comes here, she's expecting these things. She's not expecting to be with somebody who's impoverished. Like, at this point, she knows that Paul is not well. She does not know that he just does not have anything. And by anything, I mean anything. He don't have no job, no money, no support from his family. He barely got a car because that car was holding on by a wing and a prayer, okay? Paul really doesn't have anything. He does not have a way to provide and take care of her outside of the show. So when she gets there, she's expecting all of these things. But again, she was given a lot of lip service from Paul, so she's expecting things that he can't provide, and he's trying to turn it around on her to try to make it seem like she's entitled. Like, Karine's from Brazil. They don't drink tap water. They don't drink out of the tap. And he's trying to show her, oh, look, this tap water is good. You can drink this. This is America. Maybe you can. I know I don't know. I don't drink tap water. I'm an American, so Karine, don't let him tell you that mess. There are Americans who drink tap water. I am not one of them. Tap water is for your hands. Am I entitled? You know what? I'm not entitled. I'm bougie. That's what it is. I'm sorry. My mom is bougie. She raised bougie kids. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed for wanting more. But yeah, I use tap water on my hands. You know what? I don't drink tap water, but I do put tap water on my toothbrush. Who drinks tap water? I'm from Philly. We don't drink tap water. You drinking that Schuylkill River water? Not me. Not me. No, sir. No, ma'am. All Philly water, unless it's purified, is mafia water. When you drink Philly tap water, you are drinking the decomposing body of dead mobsters. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. I don't drink no Philly tap water. Purify that mobster water. You got dead mobsters all in your gums. No. Purify that water. You know what? There is not a Philly person who has subscribed to me who will not agree. They'll probably watch this and be like, you know what, Nikki, you not right. But they won't say that I'm telling a lie. What I tell you about Paul's mama, she will not be inconvenienced. Not for her son ever in her life. She raised that boy, of course. She raised that man. She got him out of her home, and she don't care that he brought back a wonderful wife and a beautiful baby. She don't care. Like Paul, wow. This man has tormented his parents so much. They don't want to help him in the least bit. Like, they don't want to give him anything, and they don't care if it's being filmed. Like, they don't care. Like, they want the world to know. They are done with him, and they are done helping him. So they take a lift to Paul's parents' home because he wants to get his car, and he wants to get some things from their home so that he could, pack in a car and go to, the next place or wherever they're staying. And Paul is like, well, my mom left my car keys outside, but she did not, leave the house key. She took her house key off the car key and left it out there. Mama said, you can get your car, but that's all you getting. You're not coming in my home, especially not when I'm not there. She just doesn't want to be bothered with him. And poor Karine, she was just like, I thought that he would have more support. I don't know why you thought that about Paul. Brazil wouldn't even let that man in. They only let him in because of TLC. TLC probably greased the palms of some Brazilian officials so that they could film Paul living there for at least some time. But they didn't even want him. So Brazil ain't want Paul. Paul's parents ain't want him. Like, listen, Paul, you are very bizarre. Very bizarre. And I don't know if there's, some issues that you have going on, or if you are just very spoiled and, you're the type of dude that just doesn't take accountability for your issues. I don't know, right? I don't know what's going on with him. But I do know that I feel bad. I feel bad that nobody wants to be bothered with him. I feel bad that he has burned so many bridges, that he has no support, and he is in a situation where he needs help. But he's burned so many bridges with people, especially his parents. Like, nobody wants to help Paul. I feel bad. I feel bad. He's bizarre. He treats Karine like crap. I do not agree. He torments his mama. I don't agree with how he treats people, but I have to be honest. I feel bad that this man, a first-time father and husband, has no idea what he's doing and no way of getting any help or guidance. By his own hands, you know what I mean? Like, he is here because of what he has done to other people. But it's just unfortunate. He has no help, and we're watching him, like, crash and burn. It's so sad. Can we also talk about how, although Paul is in a sad situation, I do feel bad that he just does not have any help. Yes, he did it to himself, but I just still, feel bad. Like, that baby needs help. You know what I mean? The father don't know what he's doing. Karine needs help. Karine and that baby need help. But because of who they're connected to, they're not going to get any. And we see in this scene why Paul does not have any support. Because he wants Karine to get in his filthy car with her child. She doesn't want to do that. She wants him to clean out the car first before she gets in the car with her baby. Makes sense to me. Why, as a father, would you want to put your child in that filthy car that's been sitting there dirty and desolate in that heat for God knows how long? Why would you want to put your child in that without airing it out, without cleaning it out? He is a baby. He has a very small immune system. You have to protect that child at all costs. Of course, he doesn't understand or get that. But here is where he went way left with me. It was just, this comment was so ugly that I just don't know how he could ever come back from that. Because not only did he say it to his wife, he said it to his wife in front of his child, and he said it on national TV. So it's going to live forever. When Karine was telling Paul that she did not want to get in the car with their very young baby boy, Paul says to her, "You lived in huts. You can't deal with this dirty car?" Really? Huts? Like, this is what you say to your wife? Karine, mama, I'm okay with you scamming. I'm okay with you scamming this dude to get to the United States. I don't care what anybody has to say about you. What you've endured from this man, girl, scam him. Scam him for everything that he can provide. And when you become a legal citizen of the United States of America, dump him. Whatever he wants, give it to him. Give him his last name back. Just as long as you got your citizenship and your baby, live your best life in the USA and flourish. This man treats you like garbage. I hope you get everything that you can from him, and I hope you live your best American life. You deserve, mama. You deserve. She's put in work. She deserves the best. Her and her baby. Michael and his abuser. So Michael and Angela are preparing to get everything together so that they can have their wedding in Nigeria. Let's talk about Michael's family. They keep on asking him the same questions and getting the same answers. What do you guys think will be different the billionth time that you ask this man this same question? They keep on asking him, is Angela going to be able to provide children for him? And the answer is no. Angela is 53. She has no more eggs. She don't even know if she could tote. I hate when she says that. It just, I don't like it. I need to make sure I can still tote. I don't like the way she says it. It just bothers me. Anyway, it's like you guys get the same answer. He tells you that she can't do it. She can't carry any children for him. And then they ask the same question. Well, Nigerian men have multiple wives and sometimes concubines. Is Angela going to be okay with that? He's told you no. You've seen this show. You know it won't happen with this woman. Why are you guys asking him this? Do you just want to be on TV? Do y'all need something to film? Like, he keeps on sitting down with family members who ask the same questions and he gives them the same answer. It's not happening. I don't know what miracle Michael thinks he's going to pull out of his behind to get some kids later on down the road, but it's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic. The family knows this. Michael knows this. Why are you asking this? Are you guys in on the scam? Are you guys just trying to, give us some filler material until we can get to the juicy parts of this relationship? Because it just doesn't make sense. When he sit down, I think it was his sister. I'm like, ma'am, where have you been? You haven't talked to anybody in your family? He's told you guys what is happening. You know that Angela is not going to be okay with this man having multiple wives and concubines. It's not happening. It's not happening. Let your brother scam this woman and get to the United States and then, live his best American life. Let him do that. I don't know if he'll be able to do it. You know what I mean? Angela gives me the kind of woman that carries a pistol in her fupa. That's what I get from her. And I'm just like, I don't think that Michael will, leave this relationship unscathed, mentally and physically. So Michael, it better be worth it. Whatever you do, you know what I mean? Duck and dodge, wear a bulletproof vest. But when she realized that you have scammed her for American citizenship and you decide to leave that woman, you might get shot. Can we be real? I just feel like she might, or run him over with a tractor. She gives me that tease. Angela gives me that tease. And although Angela gives me serial killer tease, not serial killer, snapped. She gives me that she is the perfect candidate for snap. Even though she gives me that, again, she's a wonderful grandmother. Let me tell you how I know this, guys. Those kids love her. Kids cannot fake stuff like that. Like, they can't fake love and emotion and all of that. They are too young, too precious, too pure to be able to put on a facade, right? So the way her grandkids respond to her lets me know that she is giving them something to make them yearn for her and want to be around her and filled with so much joy because of her. It's what she's pouring out to them. They feed off of that and they love being around her because what she gives them love, she gives them joy, she provides for them, she spends time with them, she invests in these kids and they love her for it. It's very unfortunate that we only get to see this Angela when she's dealing with her grandkids or speaking to her mother. I would so get into this relationship a bit more if this is the woman that we meet when she's with Michael. When she's with Michael, she's very abusive. It seems like adults, especially adults who are not her mother, get the worst of her. Because even her own daughter was just like, oh, me and my mom don't get along. Skyla will not miss a moment to let the audience know, me and my mom don't get along. I don't like my mama. She's always saying something like that, right? So I'm trying to figure out why she has such terrible relationships with her peers and with other adults. But with these kids, she's so great. With her mother, she's so great. What is that? Is it just because she respects her mom? She don't respect them kids. Not like, it's like a bag, like it's kids. I think, not like you should respect kids, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm thinking about respect and honor in a different way. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Like, this woman that we see with her mother and with her grandchildren, I wish we could see her all the time. That would be a much better fit. And I think we could believe this relationship a bit more if we saw that woman, because I could see a younger guy falling for an older woman who cares like that because she's feeling some sort of, nurturing or mothering position that he desires or lacks. I could see that. but she is very abusive and nasty to him and just about anybody else that's not her mama. So it's unfortunate. It really, really is, because I love this scene with her grandkids and she was wearing the wedding dress and they were like commenting and they were like, wait a minute, we're not going to be at the wedding. Oh, meatball, whatever they call her, grandma. We want to be there. We love you. Like, it was just such a beautiful scene. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why aren't you this woman all the time? Why do we continue to meet that alabaster demon every time you go to Nigeria? You're just a tyrant. Terrible TV to watch. Like, it's very triggering, especially now, to see this, like, you know, big Southern white woman beating up on this black man from a third world country. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's ugly. The optics of that doesn't sit well with me. And I wish we would have met this Angela, the grandkids Angela, the Angela with her mama in the beginning and throughout. But, you know, I guess that Angela doesn't sell. You know, it is TV. We need to be entertained. But I don't want to watch an abusive relationship. And you know what? I'm really sick of the black people on this show being in abusive relationships, because we got Brittany and Yazan from The Other Way. We finally got an American Sister on that show and she's in an abusive relationship. We got Michael in this abusive relationship with Angela. Who was another one? I forget his name. His mother-in-law was a porn star, and his current wife is from the Dominican Republic, and he was just treating her nasty. I just don't like that. If we're going to have black people on this show, I want them to be in, yes, they can be complicated relationships as well, but I don't want them to continue to be in relationships with abusive partners. I think this show shows that a lot with black couples, and I don't like it. Especially with black women. I see them getting yelled at and mistreated a lot on, you know, these 90 Day Fiancé shows. And it's like, what you trying to say? Listen, media is everything. Media is everything. We have no idea how powerful media is. That's why we perceive certain people, certain cultures, certain sexes a certain way, because of the media that we are fed about people, whether it be true or not. So I think TLC, especially now, needs to be very conscious about the type of content that they're putting out, especially with the black characters on this show. Also in this episode, Angela went to her OBGYN, who was a trooper. That lady, she was trying to remain professional, but Angela was a lot to handle, and she like broke a few times. It was a fun scene. It was a really fun scene to watch, especially when Angela, you know, was on the laughing gas and she was just all over the place. Like, that OBGYN, she did the best she could. She really tried to remain as professional as she could. But Angela, with all the screaming, I'm like, you done had all these kids and you can't take a little bit of pressure in your reproductive system, girl. I'm like, you screaming like you ain't never had nobody up there. Anyway, that was a really fun scene, just due to their interacting with each other. What wasn't fun was why Angela was there, because she may or may not have cancer. So she was basically just getting, something in her reproductive system tested to see if she does have cancer. She's very concerned because cancer does run in her family. I haven't heard anything about her having cancer. So I'm thinking that all this stuff is benign. I think if Angela did have cancer, we probably would have heard about it a lot sooner before this season started. So I'm hoping for the best for her. She's a tyrant. I hate how she treats Michael. I don't wish no sickness upon her. I don't wish no cancer, no harm. You know what I mean? I wish that she would be better. I wish that she would be encouraged to be better on this show, especially to her partner. But, you know, it's TV, it's entertainment. It is what it is. But the optics. Let's work on the optics in 2020 and the remainder of 2020 and beyond. TLC. Optics. Certain stuff just not gonna fly no more. Colt and Larissa. Like I said before, I don't believe this couple. Why are they on this show if they are not together? I don't get it. I don't believe that Colt found love with another Brazilian woman. None of this is reading real to me, especially since all of a sudden, you know, Jess wants Colt to meet her parents. They've only been dating for like, what, 3 freaking days? And she wants this dude to meet her father. And now Debbie is concerned about Colt, her 50-year-old son. So she wants to travel with him to Brazil to make sure that everything is okay and that he's safe and protected. And I don't know, guys. I'm starting to feel like these two, Colt and Debbie, just scammed their way onto another season of the show so that they could have a free trip to Brazil. That's what it's giving me. Because why? Why are you going to Brazil to meet Jess's parents when you have not even been dating her that long? Like, you and her all of a sudden are talking about marriage. And like, it would make sense to me if they were like in their late, 40s, early 50s. When you get older, you know what you want. You kind of don't have such a long dating and courting period. That would make sense to me. Jess is 26, right? Colt is what, like 30, 38 or something like that? Somewhere in them 30s. These two don't even know if they really like each other. Have they even had sex at this point? The way Jess was talking, they probably been having sex, since they met. Because the girls in Brazil, they like to be sexy right away. We don't even say hi to the American men. We just let them in through our vaginas. Girl, that was a sick stereotype that you put on a woman of your country. Do better. Anyway, I'm just not buying it. Nothing is really sitting with me that makes any kind of sense. Like, the story is just all over the place. Like Larissa, why are you calling Jess? If Colt was so terrible to you, this man is getting you deported. You know what I mean? Trying his best to make sure that you cannot stay in the country, continuing to abuse the justice system to harm you. Why are you still trying to get under his skin and interact with him by calling his current girlfriend and trying to warn her about him? Why do you care? Wouldn't you want to be the last thing on this man's mind? Why are you drawing all of this up? It's for the show. That's what it is. I'm not believing that these two have any kind of storyline or anything really going on. I think Larissa is just trying to find a way to stay in the United States and also to get some money for, some more work, a Brazilian butt lift, all the stuff that she wants to do. Listen, live your best life, right? But don't play me. Don't play me. I don't think that Colt and Jess are in a real relationship. I think that Jess was a fan of the show and Colt probably found her on Instagram and was just like, listen, I'm about to, sign a deal with TLC 90 Day Fiancé for a couple more seasons. What do you think about coming on being my girlfriend? That's what it is. That's what this couple is. That's what this whole storyline with this couple is. So I'm going to take everything about them with a grain of salt because I don't believe any of it. I'll talk about this couple when it's necessary. I'm just not going to waste my time on something that I know is not real. A lot of these stories aren't real, right? A lot of these stories are fabricated, but a lot of these couples are the real deal. You know what I mean? They are just, exploiting their love story for a TV show, but a lot of them are actually in love and actually really trying to build a relationship outside of this show. Colt and Larissa are not that. So I'm just not going to give them too much time. I'll talk about it when necessary. I'm definitely going to talk about Larissa and, that ex of hers, that ex-boyfriend, because it seems like their scenes are going to be juicy. So I'll get into that. But this right here, why waste my time on something that is obviously fake? I will say this, though. Jess, I don't know if this is your first time dating an American man, but listen, you never give that much time to your man's ex. Larissa calls Jess just to have some camera time. She's telling her how terrible Colt was to her, and Jess is listening and responding and, oh, okay. Well, Colt is nice to me. And I'm like, girl, no, you don't even say anything. When your current man's ex calls you to talk about your current man, the only thing you say to that broad is, oh, well, that's not my experience. Have a blessed day. Hang up and block that number. That is your duty as the new chick. What happened before you is none of your business or your concern unless he's a serial killer and a scammer. Anything other than that, you don't need to give no lip service to the woman that was before you. So Jess, it might be different in your country, but just to let you know, you never talk this long to the ex. 2 sentences and you're out. Before I wrap this couple up, let's talk about, what is her name, Vanessa? Colt's best friend, who he slept with and has a crush on, and now like hangs out with him and his mama, and Debbie thinks that she would be the perfect woman for him. We now have 3 women that we know about who have not only had sex with Colt, but they have admitted it on camera. What the hell is going on? When I saw Colt's best friend, I'm just like, what's happening here? Is there like a shortage of like dudes that don't give serial killer teas in Vegas? Is that what's happening here? Do you guys need more sane, stable men? Because how in the hell is Colt getting all this coochie? What the hell is going on in Vegas? I'm just like, what? And then when she admitted it, she was like, yeah, you know, we had sex. You telling that to the world? No shade. Let's be real, ladies. Colt is the kind of guy who, if you do have sex with him, you ain't gonna tell nobody, you know, but your really good girlfriends and be like, oh my goodness, remember that time when I was depressed and suicidal? I met that dude at GameStop and, you know, we had a little tryst. But that's not something that you're like telling the world. Only your good girlfriends know about, you know, that time when you was at the lowest of the low. And, you know, you had a moment with a dude that would not normally be on your radar. The way these women are talking about having sex with Colt, and it's just like, oh my goodness, he's such an animal. What? I can't believe it. I can't, but the bar is in hell, but the ladies are picking it up. There are women who are picking up that bar, who are diving down to hell to pick up that bar to get with just any and everything that comes out of Hades. I don't understand. That woman looked in the camera and said she had sex with Colt. What's your ex look like? What this ex-husband look like? Not saying that Colt is not a human being. Because I told y'all, I said, listen, you know, with the right amount of steroids, you know, veneers, Colt could get it from somebody. Somebody. Not in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like he could, there's work that needs to be done on everybody. But I think Colt's just lack of everything is what holds him back. Like Colt doesn't do much because he doesn't have to. You know, like he doesn't have to be a better person. You know what I mean? Like he does. I just don't know how this dude is walking around with pretty privilege. Can we just tell the truth and shame the devil? Like he is walking around like he's a Hemsworth. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, you're not even a Hemsworth cousin. Like you're not Thor. What's his name? Chris. You're not Chris. You're not Liam. You're not Liam. You're not Larry. You're not Leroy. You're not LaRondo. All them brothers and cousins. You ain't none of them. But you are walking around with this like overinflated sense of reality. And I don't understand, but I do understand because there are women who support this idea of who he thinks he is, and how they support him is giving up the coochie. You gotta make men like this work for it, but y'all don't. Y'all acting like he Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos can get it. I don't care what none of y'all say. Say what you want. Faced with the possibility of getting knocked up by a trillionaire, listen, he ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to do. You can lay there, Dad. Let me stop. Kalani and Asuelu. I'm off the Asuelu train. What's going on with him? Something is wrong. Kalani, listen. I don't know if it was just bad editing, but baby, the edit you got last season, it made you look like you were a horrible partner to Asuelu. I would just like to personally apologize to Kalani. Listen, I'm not about being wrong. I was wrong about her. Last season, The edit that Kalani got, she looked like she was an American abuser. Kalani did not look like a great partner to Asuelu. We always got these scenes of Asuelu saying, oh, you don't want me, I'm not good for you. And the self-hating father, you know, saying that he wants his daughter to be with somebody white. I think that's where me and Kalani and her family just didn't mix. When the daddy said that, I was like, okay. It immediately put me in a place where I don't like these people. Because I can't rock with racism and self-hate. Like, that just ain't my thing. I have very little sympathy for people like that. And the Lord is working on me. The Lord is working on me, right? So I just, when the father said that and then the sisters went along with it, I was just like, yeah, me and these people, we're not going to do well. So I was done with that whole family. So there was not a lot of space for Kalani to mess up with me, because the introduction of her and the family was just a bad look all around. Like, I couldn't believe they said that. I could not believe that Kalani's dad said those terrible things about Samoan men and then said that he wanted her to be with somebody white. And Kalani and her sister was just like, yeah, he wants us to be with white men because they're just better. That was ugly to me. That was ugly to me. And I didn't like that family. I'm going to be honest with you. I hated that. That was just something so ugly, and it just was never really addressed. They were just like, this is how we think and that's okay. And I'm like, no, that's not gonna work with me. So I instantly became very protective over Asuelu, because I'm seeing this Samoan man be brought into this family that does not like Samoan people. To be quite honest with you, they mistreated him because they looked down on him because he was Samoan. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that family. I didn't like Kalani. I don't like that mama. I damn sure don't like that daddy. And the sister was never on my good list. You know what I mean? So I didn't like him. I didn't like him. And what I'm seeing from Kalani specifically this season is a totally different side, and I feel really bad for her, because I think that she's in an abusive relationship. I think we saw her as the abuser this season. Asuelu, you are abusing this woman verbally and mentally, and I just feel really bad. So I apologize, Kalani. I don't apologize to your family, because your father said what he said, and you and your sister co-signed that mess. So y'all need to fix that before we can ever mend any kind of relationship, okay? But I do feel bad for her. And I would like to apologize, because I just felt like what I got of her was not who she really is. You know what I mean? And I get that, you know, we don't get the full truth of these relationships, of who these people are. I get that they're playing characters. But with Kalani and Asuelu, this seems very real to me. And I think just last season, I think maybe the editors or maybe the producers wanted to show how, maybe because of what Kalani's father said, I think they probably ran with that, and it was just like, well, we'll show how these people treat him because he's Samoan, and then we'll just run with that. I think that's what we got. I don't think we were able to see how horrible Asuelu is to Kalani. We're able to see it now. The gloves are off, and this man is terrible. Terrible. So they're driving up to somewhere, because all this family does is go from house to house to house and travel. What kind of money they got? Because they talk about hardships, but the parents have several houses. Y'all didn't let me know that Kalani and Asuelu is living in another one of the parents' home, and the parents are there. We don't know why. The parents are just there living with them, either helping. I don't know. They're there. They're there with them in another one of the parents' home. And again, we don't know why, but they're there. But then Kalani talks about working all of the time, and Asuelu is working, but he's not helping out with the bills. And I'm like, what? Are y'all in need? Do y'all, like, I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of stuff that's being left out with this storyline, with this family. So I don't know if they are in dire straits, or if they're just wanting some extra play money, because we have seen this couple move around a lot to different homes that her parents own. And we've also seen them travel a lot as a clan. Like, it's a lot of them, and they are always traveling. That's not cheap. So I don't know if they're having money issues or if they just want Kalani Asuelu to provide more. I don't know. But they're traveling to have a like out of town birthday party. This sounds like some rich stuff to me for Kalani and Asuelu's son. And while they're traveling there, Asuelu is making a lot of misogynistic comments. It starts off really light. You know, Kalani and her mother are like joking with him. And, you know, it's just like, oh, this is woman's work, because he's making it seem like what Kalani does is not as important or hard as what he does. And we don't know what kind of job he has. We know that he just golfs a lot with his friends. But he was just saying that, oh, you know, being with the kids and all this stuff, this is woman's work. It's easy. He switches seats with her to show her that he can, you know, take care of the kids and it's not a problem. She complains a lot about her easy job. And then they start having words and it starts to turn from joking to serious. Then he calls her out her name in front of her mother. He calls her a lying bee in front of her mother. First of all, the fact that he said that to his wife. Second, not only did he say that to his wife, he said that to his wife in front of his mother and in front of his children. And then he had like this like diabolical look on his face after he said it. He had no remorse. He then started going in on her mama and how she's annoying. And, you know, he didn't care that he said that. And he was just, I don't know. I saw a side of Asuelu that I've never seen. It was honestly really scary. I was like, are the producers following them? Because, baby, the way he was looking, it looked like he was going to punch somebody in the back of their head. And I was just like, oh, this is not safe. I didn't like it. I didn't like how he spoke to her. I didn't like how he spoke to her mom. So I guess when they finally get to the cabin or wherever they're staying, I'm guessing that Asuelu realizes that Kalani's father is on his way to meet with them and just meet up with the rest of the family so that they can, you know, celebrate her son. And I'm guessing as the day went on, he just realized that he did not want to face that man, because they both were like, well, why don't you say all these things that you're saying to us, to my father? You know what I mean? And the mom was like, say that to my husband. Say that when he get here. I would have did the same damn thing. Oh, you calling me this? Oh, you talking crazy to me like this? Say that to my man. And I guess that scared Asuelu, because all of a sudden he starts, after he eats a sour orange, Kalani like tries to talk to him and he is just like, you're annoying. I can't stand you. Your mother's annoying. I'm tired. I get it, right? I think that he is very upset because he wants to, you know, go back and be with his family in Samoa. He misses them. He wants to see them. He wants them to see his kid. He doesn't like the fact that they told him no. That Kalani was like, no, and that the family was just like, it's not a good idea because it's not safe, it's not healthy. He didn't want to take that advice because he didn't like the fact that a woman told him, a woman doctor who he thinks is a nurse and doesn't know what she's talking about. A nurse, like, you don't even know what a nurse is, dude. That sometimes they're smarter than the doctor, a lot of the times. Anyway, he was mad about that. So I guess because the whole family, you know, agreed with Kalani, and he was just like, oh, I don't have anybody. I'm by myself. You're all against me. So I guess I'm not going to Samoa. So I think he was upset about that. And that boiled over into, you know, the conversation that they were having. And even though with Kalani and her mom, the conversation was light, he was mad. He was angry. So anything that they would have said to him would have set him off. And I think he realized that he went too far, and he knows that that man is coming and he has to face that man. So instead of facing Kalani's father after he disrespected his daughter and his wife, he decides to pack up his bags and go hop on a bus to nowhere. Like, he gets on this bus and the producers are just like, where are you going, back to Utah? And he's like, yeah, I guess. Like, he doesn't even know where he's going. I think he was taking a coward's way out. He does not want to face that man. He is obviously intimidated by that man. He knows that he went too far and he doesn't want to deal with it. The thing that bothered me the most is that this fool was walking out with his little luggage because he had a little spat with his wife that he could not properly resolve. So he just walks out like a child while his son is crying and chasing after him. He didn't even look back. He just kept on walking and got on the bus. Your son is crying and chasing you. That doesn't affect you? Again, ladies, you have to stop having raw sex. Stop raw dogging losers. I was trying to say it a different way. Stop raw dogging losers. You have to stop this. You'll end up like Kalani and Devin. You have to stop having sex with losers. Yes, we are human beings. Our bodies do certain things, especially when we're horny. I get it. I understand. I got a reproductive system too. I get it. But you gotta stop and think. Even if you're uber horny, you gotta stop and think, do I want to be attached to this fool for the rest of my life? If not, let's get a condom. Do the pull-out method. Or maybe just stick with a little bit of oral. Do something, but don't let that semen get in your bloodstream where you will be a Devin and a Kalani. And nobody wants to be that. No shade, ladies, but you got knocked up by losers. It is what it is. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Anyway, that's it for me. That's what I thought about this episode. What did you guys think about this episode? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you, this comes on Sunday? Yes, Sunday for the following episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.